Still, I mean, there will, there is where's literally.
We have options for sure.
Great.
Right next to him.
Me?
No, right there.
Right here, sir?
Right here? I'll take it for
Quarter
sure.
zip right there. Yep. No, you. Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Every time I hear quarter zip, I
Can you
just think
please
of
provide
Epstein.
some guidance? It's been 13 days in. Can you please provide some guidance, both of you, about the strike on the girls' school? There's been reporting.
They are not going to let up on this, man. Oh my God. It's like, what do you want them to say? Like, I think that honestly what they should do is they should just simply just keep giving the same generic
Oh yeah, it's
answer
Saturday,
over
so
and over and over
all
until
doesn't.
they eventually just stop asking the question. I think that's what I would do. Because here, the reality is that the media will not accept an outcome that doesn't mean that the United States or Israel is at fault. Like, even if Iran did bomb the school, if the investigation shows that to be the case, they will just say that the government's lying, basically. It's important.
Good, someone's being honest. Like, I don't agree with.
Overrepresented, and
Probably they're not,
yeah,
but
obviously it's bad, but I think that what they're doing is they're trying to use this as some sort of like emotional, like some like emotional bludgeon that they can effectively beat over everybody and say, "Oh, you killed a school full of girls. You did this. You did this. You did this." Like, I mean, really, I don't think anybody supports having that happen. But when you're having a war, accidents happen, and we don't even know whether who did it or not. Like, it's hyper fixated on, and it's being done with the express purpose and goal to delegitimize American and Israeli attacks on Iran to make us look like we are the bad guys. That's why it's being done. And so, yeah, you like, why even?
What?
I think that you made a mistake by even trying to play into this type of narrative. And someone clearly supports it. No, they don't. I mean, do you think that mistakes never happen with bombings? We just had a plane crash and 6 people die. Mistakes happen all the time. Do you think that they wanted to crash the plane and kill themselves? No. That's just what happens. Like, I don't see how, like, I mean, really, just think about it logically for 3 seconds. It's a press's job to be critical of the government, bro. I think that they are not really being critical of the government. I think they're being partisan and biased. I think that they've already asked this question 15 times. This isn't the press is not being critical of the government. They are complicit in effectively enabling enemies. They're completely biased about it. They're not being critical.
That indicates that preliminary inquiry, even though it's ongoing, has determined that the airstrike was carried out by the United States. Given that there is another competing narrative that this was done intentionally, can you provide us with some guidance about whether this was the case? Secondly, we are also getting...
Why would they?
I heard yesterday from Energy Secretary Wright.
I mean, if they had a compelling case against it, they would actually. But
escorts through the state of Hormuz.
they don't. Like, actually, no. That's a good.
If so,
They do have.
that's why. Thank you.
Well, with an issue on your first topic, an issue of such seriousness, we're not going to let reporting lead us or force our hand into indicating what happened in a particular situation, because the truth matters. So I can report that CENTCOM has designated an investigating officer to complete a command investigation. The command investigation will take as long as necessary to address all the matters surrounding this incident.
To be honest, I think it's more likely that it's U.S. than Israel, but it's probably wrong.
And to the world, there's only one entity in this conflict.
Like, you guys don't understand. Like, U.S. probably even more brutal.
Man.
Literally never targets civilians. I look at the process that's used on dynamic strikes or on boat strikes and others. We have a very high fidelity process in that case. So we don't target. Iran does. We will investigate. We'll get to the truth, and we'll share it when we have it. absolutely. And what was the second
About the
question?
Strait of Hormuz, about the Navy, Secretary Wright.
It's a tactically complex environment. and
Oh,
before
it's-
I think we want to take anything through there at scale. We want to make sure that we do the work pursuant to our
Yeah, I think
current
that makes
military
sense.
objectives. To,
I don't know how I did that.
to do that safely and smartly. So we're continuing to develop.
And we do
Mark.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
And like I said, it is dynamic, but this is, I think,
That's a
almost
great
by
answer,
20% the largest day of strikes. And
Sure,
as I said, our
sure.
intelligence just gets better and better. That feedback loop feeds itself. And as we refine those targets, it exponentially increases what we can hit and why, to include strategic things the
You
world's
can't
talking
escort it
about
when you're
and
on the
looking at.
offensive?
And
That's
so
a
we have
crazy
a
goal.
plan for it.
I don't know what their
Which we
rules
do
are.
to address it
What their
and
goals
ensure
are.
that the president has options. We've done that from the beginning in this department. He'll have options on that topic as well.
That is a very savable goal at the same time, but like that's crazy.
It's an investigation. That's what it is. It doesn't mean anything other than that. Yes.
Ryan
I don't know what
Morgan,
kind of question that is. It's not harassment.
Day
It's
of strikes.
Yeah.
Last week you guys
Oh, he's
discussed the progress of the air campaign.
It
to gain
makes
air
sense.
Superiority and a transition from these standoff weapons launched at range to more overhead strikes. Can you now say that these strikes today are going to rely entirely on stand-in over-the-top weapons, or are standoff range weapons still in play?
It's a great question. I can say, based on the report I read this morning at 0600, only 1% of the munitions we're using today are standoff munitions. The rest are over-the-top.
Somebody says, do you think this will be any different than the war in Afghanistan? Religious zealots never surrender. I could see this going on for years. You know what's really funny is that what I think is funny about
I
it is
think he
that
literally
yes,
just
very
made up
obviously, of
statistics.
course, religious zealots
Whatever.
never surrender.
1% is like the
Also,
most
they already
classic.
are. They already are. They're already roaching out at this very
I agree.
The entire idea that you
The
can
US
break
stuff.
this type of narrative is crazy. Of course you can. You absolutely
the
can.
types of which
They're
we
already
have
surrendering.
a plethora, which is our goal from the beginning. You use standoff, which are more exquisite. You transition to.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that.
Ensuring
Literally
that
bummed.
you have in your options across the force. Absolutely.
Great pass. Oh, not that good of a pass. But it was
We've
good.
heard them talk about it, just like you've reported recklessly and wildly about it. But we have no clear evidence. We have no clear evidence of that.
Thank you,
Right
sir.
here.
Mr. Secretary, given everything the U.S. have accomplished in the last 24 hours, as of today, how do you define success in this military option? And has that definition changed from day one? And also regarding Iran government telling countries hosting U.S. American bases that they could face attacks, what is the Pentagon doing about that?
I wonder what country is that.
How do you define success as of today?
Yeah, I mean, we define success. Again, 12 days in, 13 days in.
Nice. That was
Reaching the military objectives that we've laid out. Launchers, missile launchers, defense industrial base, their naval
That is a good-
project power in the naval sense.
That was crazy.
Toward denying them to get a nuclear weapon. And we've got internal metrics that look at that we represent to the president, who then can decide how long he
Oh,
wants to
nice.
continue
I'm
to
done.
pursue those military objectives. So
Diamond won, sadly, but sure.
a lot of people talk about
I don't care.
what they want us to do, or what we should do, or what we should stay focused on. And again, I've addressed this before, and I think it's worth
That's a
saying
sign that I'm not very.
mission creep, or expansive
creep,
missions,
yeah.
or prolonged timelines, or democracy building, or nation building, you name it, has not been part of what President Trump wants us to be involved in. We're
Yeah, it
solving
seems like it's a huge fucking mistake to do that. That's whenever you get entangled indirectly.
for something. This particular mission set, but also recognizing this country's condition to previous leaders, whether it's George W. Bush or Barack Obama or Joe Biden.
Bro, this guy literally
expansive, nebulous mission
placed
set.
31 wins. That's
So
crazy.
the timeline kept moving,
Hell
and we
no.
kept pouring more troops in and on the ground, and then pretty soon
Crazy.
wonders like I did.
He's probably on his second account, but I mean, he's plat still.
I'm not
I shouldn't have lost to that.
Yeah.
We're taking the opposite approach here and saying we've defined these objectives, we're pursuing those objectives. The president has his hand on the throttle, and will decide ultimately when they've been reached that serve the purposes of the United States of America, American interests first.
And regarding the threats to countries hosting
Yeah, right here.
Thank you, Secretary Hexeth. Polls show over 80% of Republicans support the president's military action in Iran, but there's some consternation in parts of the party, particularly from your fellow Fox News alum.
Why? He literally
He
didn't.
called the war disgusting and evil, and then said of unconditional surrender, which the president has called for, means foreign troops get to rape your wives and daughters. Have you heard these comments, and what's your reaction to them?
What the? Yeah, okay.
We're busy
Wow.
executing on behalf of great patriotic Americans with a clear mission that's 47 years overdue. We're going to execute on that regardless of what people say about it. Yeah, right here.
Mr. Secretary, you have said that the U.S. military has essentially aerial superiority, naval superiority over Iran, yet we're not escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Why? How did you not plan for this?
We plan.
How did you not plan for this? Oh my God, bro! Like these guys, these people are such rats. How did you not plan for this? Like, what a fucking idiot! I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Why is it so laggy? But
We're good. Sorry about that. Let me continue.
For it. We recognize it because ultimately we want to do it sequentially in a way that makes the most sense for what we want to achieve and ensure that we're sending the right signals to the world when we do so. So when Chris Wright speaks or we speak, it's based on a full assessment of what we're up against, what we want to say to the world, how that we want them to see and understand the conflict. It's like this whole idea of the war widening. That's what the press wants to make it look like it's widening and chaos is ensuing. No, we're actually closing in on, grabbing hold of, and controlling what objectives we want to achieve and how we want to achieve them. It's called shaping operations and setting the conditions. But when you shape the environment, you don't always tell. I mean, foolish political leaders and foolish military leaders of the past will hang an exact deadline on it. Or here's exactly when we'll do what we're going to do, or here's how long it's going to take us. And then if you
I think that Trump has made that mistake multiple times where like he's given definitive like things and then obviously it didn't happen that way and then he looked bad. And so I think it's very obvious that they're trying to avoid that as much as possible.
that, maybe you meet it, but if you don't,
Like with,
you fail. And
you
if
know,
you're far
ending
beyond,
the
we know
Ukraine
exactly what
war
we're
on day
shaping and
one.
why.
Yeah.
We're sending those signals working across the interagency.
That's a
The
good
Strait of
example.
Hormuz is something we've paid attention to from the beginning. And the American people can rest assured
unnecessary to say that.
we will ensure that our interests are advanced, no doubt. Yeah, right there, green jacket.
Mike Bress with the Washington Examiner. How many American casualties have there been, and where were the American service members when they were injured?
it's a good goal.
I mean, it's a bunch of return to duty. So we've had the large majority have gone in for some medical treatment and return to duty. We've had in Kuwait, Jordan, down across the southern flank a little bit, a variety of places, most from one-way attack strikes.
But I would clarify that. I think what we've
And
tried to
Saudi
do here
Arabia.
is
Saudi
clarify
Arabia.
those numbers rather than saying
Yeah.
KIA or WIA wounded. Be more clear about that because the overwhelming majority, almost 90%, thank God, are returned to duty. Minor injuries returned to duty, and so that number can look a certain way, and our job is to add some fidelity to it. That's it right here. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. David Zia, Real America's Voice. Can you share what types of munitions have been used on the attacks on commercial shipping? Have any hit mines? And are USVs, unmanned surface vehicles, being used? And just a quick follow-up, were there any arrests in Fort Campbell with the drone thefts?
Oh,
I'm not familiar with the Fort Campbell
The
thing.
fuck?
The
Who's
strikes
stealing
that
drones?
Iran has taken on shipping up north in the vicinity of Kuwait have been, I believe, from surface to surface missiles up there. We've not seen any USV activity out of Iran that we've seen in the Gulf at this point.
Nor have any ships hit mines or anything.
Yeah, there's
like
been
that.
no.
It's still flowing
thank
through
you.
the
There's
strait.
been no
Absolutely.
strikes that we.
One more time, right here.
Thank you so much. Heather Mullins, Lindell TV. My first question
Usual
is,
suspects
President
stealing
Trump is
drones?
set
Is
to
that
meet
right?
with Xi
4
Jinping in a
drones.
couple of weeks. How much support, if any, has China been given the Iranian regime? And then the second question, I know President
Probably
Trump calling
none.
for an unconditional surrender from Iran. Given that the U.S. is working in partnership with Israel on this whole operation, is Iran expected to meet demands of both countries or just the U.S. and what
That's
are
a good
those
question.
demands?
Well, we're proud to partner with the incredible capabilities the Iranians, or excuse me, the Israelis have. But our objectives are our objectives. And so when those are met, as we meet those, we'll set the tempo of when those are met. What was the first
Sure, I
question?
could expect that.
He's meeting with Xi Jinping
Oh
in
yeah,
a couple
the president
weeks.
has
What's China's
has
role
a
in all of this?
historic relationship with President Xi. They look forward to having a dynamic conversation. Two powers. President Trump ultimately has established.
I think we're just going to keep selling China more of the oil, and then China's going to let Iran fall. I think that's what's going to happen. That's the best case scenario. That's best.
I don't
for
even know
China
what
and
happened.
America, and it just fucks Iran. Like, that's the smart thing to do. Like, if I was Trump, that's what I would do.
That relationship, which advanced the United States of America, and that meeting will continue to ensure we advance that. That's all I've got. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Man, well, there it is. And he did do that? I mean, hopefully, right? Also improves relations? Yeah, definitely. Hassan says, enjoy PTSD. Why would you do this? Does he want to get banned?
15 years out from Iraq, eat my balls. Do you even have your balls remaining, or did a fucking IED explode them for you, dumbass? Shut the fuck up talking about Islam. You are an infinitely bigger terrorist than any random Muslim ever could be. Shut your bitch ass up.
Do we want to look at the terrorist attacks that have happened in Europe and America? We don't want to take that to the bank, do we? We don't want to look this up. Let's just take his word for it. Yeah.
Go enjoy your PTSD, asshole. Fuck you.
Why would you say this? You knew Frogan got in trouble for that. Why would you say this?
I have no pity at all for any soldiers. I hope you get PTSD.
Aha! So this was all a plan to steal my oats.
Who's to say he had PTSD either? How much you want to bet?
What is this lag, bro? I can't. I don't even know how it's.
Islam has a problem with terrorism. Who am I getting this information from? Muslims. They're the ones that are worried about this in their own countries. This isn't like some kind of crazy, where is this opinion coming from? They think this.
Go enjoy your PTSD, asshole. You. Imagine having the audacity to be like, yeah, I went to Iraq, I went to Iraq, and it's actually Islam that's the biggest danger. You're a danger to your family.
He's a danger to his family? Wow, okay, I didn't know this. This is new.
And a danger to yourself.
Wow, he's getting really personal about this.
Law, that's getting clipped, Lamont. I don't give a dude. If you go to Iraq and you learn that lesson, you realize that was wrong, you're welcome here. You come back from Iraq and you talk about how I hate Islam, then you didn't learn anything. You're goddamn cattle.
You didn't learn anything. He was supposed to go to Iraq.
It's crazy how laggy it was there.
He was supposed to go to Iraq to
And I'm not
what
making.
the military's mission was there. Like, I'm pretty sure Iraq isn't like a high school. And what are we doing here?
Whatever, bitch. I'll start live streaming on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah.
Suck my dick. No, you're getting clipped.
I mean, to be fair, this is a pretty bad. It's a bad clip. It is. Like, I think everybody can acknowledge. Even he knows another clip of
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
another streamer on Twitch.
No lag this time.
PTSD on
I hate
another
that.
American veteran.
That was so annoying.
People like Asmongold who.
So it is me. It is all about me as usual. Okay, so yeah, I care about veterans.
Okay, good.
Of course I care about veterans. That's why I don't want to have our money go to Somalians, is so it can go to veterans.
Really? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
If Twitch can apply this double standard, literally doesn't say a single damn thing about that, but then turns around and tries to ban me for this shit? Fuck this.
So he's preemptively getting mad at something that hasn't even happened. He's like pre-malding.
This platform, I will never come back here.
Why? Like, what? Okay.
Y'all are a bunch of dumb bitches too for being like, oh, you're gonna get clipped.
I mean, to be fair, they were right.
Dumb motherfucker. Doesn't even realize his own lived experiences should have taught him a very valuable lesson.
Maybe they did. Ever think of that? Maybe going up against ISIS and Al-Qaeda for like years is going to make somebody more negative towards Islam. It's a pretty reasonable expectation to have, right? It'll look pretty weird if he said that, like, you know, enjoy your PTSD. And it's like, you know, he doesn't get in trouble for that because they banned Frogan for the same thing. So, yeah, what a bad time for him. And really having a bad time. Very, very upset. This is a viewer right here, and his name is AceAT, and he is living in Iran. And he made an update recently, this was a day ago, about what it's like living in
wasn't
Iran.
even going.
This guy's been a viewer of mine for quite a while, and the first video he made, I reacted to. This is the second video.
Oh, I
Before
watched
this
them.
starts, I want to quickly say something. This video was actually supposed to be uploaded much earlier before everything started happening recently. Because of the situation, it took longer than expected to get it online.
Yep. I can see that's the situation. Yeah. Ah, that was
For
the
now,
internet building.
Please watch this one, but I already have many
I just like
clips and
here
information I want
specifically
to share with you
for lag.
in the future, hopefully
Holy
very
shit.
soon. I also want to say thank you to Audia, someone who helped me share some internet access so I can
It's
put
also
videos on
lagging
YouTube. I
now.
won't go into more details.
1% of ordinary levels.
But I'm
Oh my
very
god.
grateful. Another video will also be coming where I react to a video
Nice.
that Eyebrows made, which I am included. I know many of you are very curious and want to know what is happening here right now.
Yeah,
I
in Iran.
understand that, and I truly appreciate your concern. For now, I just ask for a little patience. When the time is right, I will be able to share much more, including things from my own perspective. Thank
The
you.
reason why he probably can't do that is that he doesn't want to reveal information that the regime could use to basically backtrace where he is or what he is, and then use that to identify and punish him. That's the reason why.
For being here.
Smart. Doesn't want to die. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Before I start, I want to say something. If this video reaches the same people who saw the previous one, and if you
My Iranian viewer sent me this, had 1.4 million views. Holy shit.
genuinely feel like this video is worth being seen again, then only if you think it's appropriate, feel free to share it. Not to force anything, not to spam anyone, just naturally. And honestly, if you are watching this again, Asmongold, that is wild, like genuinely wild. In my previous video,
I feel like, again, I'm one of the only people that actually cares about these different issues. And this is another thing too, is like a lot of people say like, oh, you don't care about other people, etc. I'm one of the only people that's covered a lot of these international events. Things like the Serbian protests, things like the Indonesia protests, things like the Turkey protests, things like the war in Sudan, things like the end to the war with Rwanda, and I think it was like I forgot even who the fuck they were at war with, but I think the Congo or something like that. And yeah, the Mexico protests, exactly. Well, I've done this a lot of times. I think it's important to do it. India, Pakistan, well, that's a really big one. That's a huge one. There's the India, Pakistan, and then there's inside of Pakistan, there's like...
Why isn't he saying Israel sound?
Areas of like Kashmir and some of their other more Western areas too. Like Western geographically, not, you know, ideologically. So yeah, it's very, very true. I do my best. And I think the reason why I do it is because nobody else does it. Nobody else cares.
I talked mostly about my personal journey, but this video is different. This time, I want to talk about daily life realities, the kind of things people outside rarely hear about and often misunderstand. Not politics, not exaggeration, just real day-to-day experiences from my perspective. Because many comments kept asking what is daily life actually looks like
in Iran?
or why don't people just leave. So instead of repeating my story, I want to answer those questions directly. The first
I was
thing
curious
is
about that
water
too.
access. In some areas, water supplies is not always consistent throughout the day. There can be scheduled
Can
or
you imagine that, by the way? Like,
Yeah, that's a crazy.
like, I think this is something that the Western mind can't even comprehend. Because, like, for us, we've always, like, water is like it's a guarantee. Everybody can get water. You know, you go to the store, use a water fountain. Imagine not being able to get water. I'll be right back.
unscheduled interruptions that last several hours, sometimes between 8 to 12 hours. This affects very normal things. Cooking.
Wait, so water is gone for 8 to 12 hours? Bro, they need to have Mr. Bro, fuck the Africa wells. They gotta have them go do wells in fucking Iran. How do you fuck up water? Oh my god. This is the kind of stuff that, like, I think a lot of Westerners don't even realize how bad it is in some of these countries. It's like these people, like, you're playing Forza Motorsports and you're driving down the road in your brand new Lamborghini. Meanwhile, they're walking and they're playing QWOP. Oh, water doesn't work. Oh god, the internet's broken. Oh no, they arrested me for being out too late. It's insane how handicapped these people are. It is crazy.
Guys
All
off.
by their oppressive government.
Guys are shoot.
It's terrible.
Cleaning, showering, even basic daily routines. And during hard
Okay.
seasons, this
Let's see.
situation becomes even more
100
noticeable. Discussions locally about reserves, dams, and the water levels being lower compared
Water
to
level?
past years.
Wow.
I'm not speaking as an expert, just as someone living through it daily. When water
see the
becomes
water.
limited, life doesn't stop. It just becomes harder in a quiet way. Another major
That's
factor.
the reason why attacking desalination plants is such a big deal. That's why nobody's done it yet. I hope that the United States doesn't do that.
In daily life is air quality. In large cities especially, air pollution can become severe during certain periods. One of the commonly
desalinization, yes.
mentioned reasons is the use of heavy fuel oils in energy production. As we call it locally,
Oh, I wonder if the mountains, because obviously Iran is like, it's an area, I think Peru is kind of like this too, where like, you
I don't
have,
know
like,
what.
like large
To be
ships
honest,
that
I don't know
are
what he could have done.
And you have the cities that are inside of those mountains, right? And you think about this from ancient times, very clearly, like this is a massive strategic organic advantage, right? Gigantic advantage. So, like, that's basically what Iran is like too, it seems. And so, like, I wonder if those mountains and that area effectively creates like a shield from that pollution leaving, because usually it will go out into the ocean and disperse or dissipate. But like, if you're not able to do that and it's stuck there, like, oh man, that's really I never even thought of this.
muzzled. When that happens, the air can feel
Like
heavier,
a bowl?
and
Yeah.
people with breathing issues feel it the most. On some days, people prefer staying indoors not because they want to, but because the air outside feels difficult to tolerate. This is not something
Wow.
dramatic, it's just part of the normal life conditions that people
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
That's not That's
That's
bad. What do you mean? That's part of normal life? No, it shouldn't be. That's terrible.
adapt to.
What do
over
you mean?
time. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the
Thanks, no.
electricity
No.
stability. Electricity stability is another topic people asked about a lot. Power
Electricity
outages can happen sometimes scheduled or sometimes unexpected. They can last a few hours, and while that may not sound like much, during
It is horrible. A power outage, again, if you've ever had to care for an elderly parent, you will know how terrifying the idea of a power outage is. Because if they're on any sort of oxygen or any other type of, like life assistance, this could potentially mean life and death. It's terrifying. And like also power outages can affect heat and cold. Like I'll give you an example, just real quick. So we had like a huge snowstorm here in Austin, Texas, like 5 years ago. So I'm in California when it happens. My dad, at the time was like 73, 74, huge lung problems. He already got over pneumonia like 4 or 5 times, and like, very much like kind of like 10% HP, right? And so it happens. I can't get through to my dad. And then my dad, obviously, like, he's got all this stuff. I had one of my best friends, right? Like come by, and he was able to pick up my dad and help my dad. Like huge W to my friend, Zach Levy, right? Like he's an old buddy of mine I've known for
That's
50
actually
years. Came and actually basically saved my dad. And like, if it wasn't for that, like, I mean, listen, like my dad was in the fucking military. He probably would have been able to survive and get around. It wouldn't have been a big deal, but like, it would have been very unpleasant for him. And, to say the least. And a tree had fallen over his driveway. Like, here's his driveway, right? A tree fell like this. It was like some Final Destination. You can't leave your house because there's like a fucking horror story that has to happen in it. And he was, whenever my friend got him, whenever he got my dad was shivering with his poncho liner from Vietnam, sitting in his chair. And all the power was out. So, because again, I bet Iran probably also gets very cold too. Like, is obviously, I think like a place like that could easily get very cold. And so if that happens, like, think about how dangerous that is for elderly parents and elderly people. It's a desert. Yeah, exactly. At night. Yeah. It's like super up and down. So like, this is the kind of shit that like people don't think about. The same as I never thought about that pollution. This is something else that's like super important.
The hot seasons especially, it becomes very noticeable. When electricity goes out, you don't just lose power.
And also, like, another component, sorry, I don't want to distract again, but like another component to this is that on top of that, you also have oh, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say?
It's very noticeable. When electricity goes out, you
Oh,
don't
nice shot.
just lose power. You lose internet access, cooling, work progress.
That's crazy, but
With the Iranian economy being so bad, buying a
that's a
generator
really good
is not
shot from.
economically feasible for
That's
most
kind of
people, I would assume. So it's not like, you know, the solution that you could give for a guy that's living in Indiana, which is like, oh, just go buy a generator. Sure. Well, for them, being able to buy a generator could be like months of work.
Nice.
Routine stability. For people working online, even a few hours can affect an entire day. A lot of people assume internet is the same everywhere, but here, internet
Generators
is
can be confiscated
per gigabyte, not unlimited. And as you may know,
Wait, they got y'all on the fucking that like 2007 phone plan? Oh my, they got y'all paying for data? What?
many global platforms require a VPN connection to function properly. This creates a double cost effect because when using VPNs, data efficiency drops, meaning you may consume more data for the same activity. So you are.
There's another component to this too, which is regional pricing. So if you set your data point to being in let's say Israel or being in London or something like that, now you're getting regional pricing from Israel and London rather than the supposed intended regional pricing for Iran that's at a lower level. Like it's like triple actually. Holy fuck.
Not only paying for more internet, but you also indirectly paying more
data
just to access global platforms normally.
Wow.
For someone working online, this becomes a constant financial pressure. P.S. Starlink has been imported to our country from many different places. However, a lot of people are taking advantage of that connection and selling it.
How did I miss that?
People for up to.
But it's weird because in the replay it said it looks like I touched it, which I don't know why I didn't.
For people to connect to the internet
Whatever.
because people are abusing the fact of how rare it is to connect to the internet now. Another topic.
That's dude. As I said, bro, this is like, it's like we're playing on easy mode and they're playing on solo self-found hardcore mode. It's like, okay, I want to get the internet. Can I just go to the auction house to buy the internet? No. You have to find somebody that's going to trade you a piece of currency that will allow you to do a dungeon that if you
we're done
in a time frame allows you to use the internet.
That's
for 50
crazy.
minutes. It's like, holy fuck, that's and there's PvP.
Crazy.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
by the way.
PvP in the dungeon too.
I hesitated to mention before
Oh
is
my God.
medical access. Some specialized medicines are not always easily available
Oh
locally.
my
In my
God.
personal case, for a rare medical condition that my mother has, I had to look outside the country to obtain the required medication. This process is
Which
not
means that it's also completely outside of the economic ecosystem inside of Iran too.
simple. It involves time, cost, a lot of
Yes.
uncertainty.
Stress.
And when the health is involved, uncertainty.
And there's
is the
another component to this too. I don't know if he's going to talk about this, but like going and finding aftermarket medicine right now is really dangerous on the black market because of the different things that it can be cut with. I mean, number one is fentanyl, right? It's really dangerous if you're trying to buy any aftermarket pills right now.
most stressful part. Even
Lacing,
bringing medicine through the travels come with its own complications, paperwork, stress, and fear of delays. So imagine people who cannot travel at all and must
Sound like
buy
him?
expensive
Nothing.
alternatives just to get essential treatment. One of the
Same.
most common comments I receive is, why don't you just move to another country? I understand why people
Just leave.
ask that. From the outside, it sounds a simple decision, but in reality, it is extremely complex. First, passports have limitations.
Also, another component to this is that there's the diaspora of Iran is like, was it 6 to 9 million people? Like, I think it's like it's millions of people. I know that for sure.
When it comes to visa access,
What's the Iran? How many people have left Iran in like the last? How many people are outside of Iran that are Iranian like nationals? Like I don't know exactly.
Most destinations require visa approval.
What?
financial
Bro, we're gonna
assistance,
beat them. What is
sometimes-
talking about?
sometimes
They almost.
non-extendable
4 to 5?
stays.
Okay.
Second, relocating is not just a plane ticket. It requires
Wow.
stable income, legal residency
Yeah.
options, banking access, and long-term planning. For
And
many
you remember he said the last video he made was about how banking over there is restrictive as well. That was with like his YouTube money.
people, it is not about willingness to leave, it's about feasibility. Another thing people don't realize is how difficult international banking can be. Opening globally usable bank accounts is not always
Yes.
straightforward. Many international financial systems
Huge problem.
require residency, documentation, or physical presence in a specific country. And for people living
This is
in
the reason why a lot of people in like developing countries use crypto.
sanctioned regions, access becomes more limited. Without those requirements, online income, payments, and global transactions become significantly more complicated. This affects freelancers, creators, and remote workers heavily. From my personal experience, getting access to an international card was not something simple at all. It
Yeah,
often
no doubt.
involved relying on trusted people abroad, third-party services,
Yep.
or complex processes. Just
And I
Maybe
think
they
there's
are
a
for-
real gray area of
But I don't
operating
get why he
bank
wants
accounts in Iran. There could be like TOS violations.
I mean, this is just too.
that could
I'm
maybe cancel
surprised
your
that.
account and like freeze your funds, or there could also be like legal ramifications inside of Iran too.
make basic global platform work. For example, my girlfriend, she made an international bank account for me under her name in India. And even then,
There it is.
there is extra cost and uncertainty and a lot of trial and error involved. So
Yep.
when people ask, why don't you just open a global bank account? The reality is,
Bro, I just did that all
as it sounds, depending on where you live. And here's
Literally all my
really
kickoff, and then actually no, I don't know what happened.
from abroad,
Here
it
we go.
often requires official registration to fully function with local mobile networks. That registration can significantly
Oh, I wonder what that means. Oh, jeez, guys. Why would they
No, they're
want you to
good.
do that? It's a mystery.
increase the total cost of the device itself,
Uh-huh.
sometimes making the final price much higher than the original retail price. So even owning a modern phone can
$1,100.
involve extra financial steps that people outside rarely think about.
Jesus.
Another unique system involves imported vehicles. Some foreign cars operate
My dad
under
has the bottom one
temporary
there.
plates known as Gozar Muvaqqat, which roughly translates to temporarily transit permission. These vehicles are not treated the same as the fully registered domestic ones. There can
Uh-huh.
be usage limitations, additional costs, and regularly conditions involved. So
What?
owning certain imported cars is very different compared to the other countries. So
Why?
if you get in a car accident, good luck trying
So
to repair it.
stupid.
Since many car brands do not operate in Iran, and luxury
Uh-huh.
car parts are rare and close to non-existent here.
Yep.
Speaking of brands not being available, it's the same with restaurants and cafes. For example,
Mm-hmm.
KFC, McDonald's, Domino's, anything
Never mind, guys. I'm all in on regime change. This is listen. There are some things that are just unacceptable. All right, guys. This is. Oh no! We can't let this happen. This is like a crime against humanity. Oh, bro, no KFC, no McDonald's, no Domino's. I'd fucking starve.
really that is branched outside of the
Send in
country
Delta
is not
Force
available.
right now.
And as for the cafe, I only know Starbucks that I know is
Oh
not
my
available.
God.
These sanctions also cross over to products as well.
Mhm.
Many snacks and such you can't get it here, or if you do find it, is overpriced. If
Yeah, no doubt.
Asmongold is watching,
Dreams are made of.
no Dr. Pepper. Moving on.
That sucks so much dick. Wow.
Even
That's
a
awful.
simple digital purchase like gift cards
Uh-huh.
can become more expensive than their face value. Because
Yeah,
they are
of course.
often resold through intermediaries, a $10 gift card may cost noticeably more due to exchange rates and service fees
Yeah.
and seller profit
Says about $11.
margins. So
I was
online
gonna
purchases
score
are
that too, by the
rarely
way.
at their original
I feel like we both were gonna
so
score and we
people
both
to
did.
complain and and not to dramatize anything,
educate
but to
people,
explain
right?
the partial
Yeah, obviously.
realities of everyday system that most people never have to think about. Water, air, internet, healthcare, mobility, digital
See,
access.
this is the kind of stuff that people need to be talking about in terms of privilege. Because these are the things that, you know, not whether you're white or black or something like that, but the amount of privileges and advantages that an American is born into, or a person that lives in a Western country
That guy was
is
so
born into,
annoying, by the way.
are so tangible and so obvious that whenever you compare it to a person that's born inside of Serbia, right? Or, and even...
Bro,
right? And
is
these are
that?
divorced countries, but there are
15,000
Americans
worse
that are all
than he's
awesome.
upset.
Privilege does exist, but I think that the way that it's manifested inside of like Western culture is just used as effectively a vehicle to hate white people or hate men. But the truth is that privilege is very real. And I think that whenever you hear about people talk about their day-to-day lives in these other countries,
That's a crazy amount. I feel like that's more than I have in my whole
an
life.
incredibly privileged existence.
Sure.
Individually, each issue
That's what I
may
think.
seem small, but together they shape daily life in ways that are different to explain
That's what
in
North Korea's
just
like, yeah.
one sentence. This is
It's
not
good
the
RNG,
full
yep.
picture. No single video can show that, but it is an honest one. And sometimes honesty about normal life is more important than the headlines. Hopefully, this will be the last type of video I make in regards of what is going on inside of my country. I do realize that a lot of you may want to know more and more sensitive topics.
Probably
but
don't want it.
believe me, I am completely unable to talk about it. Not just
Smart.
me, but a lot of people
Smart
can't,
guy.
because it is not a simple
Very
task
smart
in
guy.
order for
I
me
mean,
to
he's not, like, he has to be that
in
smart.
order to make a
Like,
video
the
about the
Iranian regime enabled him to be
see you
out.
in the next video.
Like,
Holy
can't
shit.
really say much.
Holy
Because
shit.
the Iranian government, and it would be actually the opposite. It'll be super dumb if he does disclose private.
This one too. And
Now that
show
it's-
my support as much as I can. There it is. Make sure to give it a like, guys. And take care. Yeah, exactly, man. It's fucking insane. And he's a good example of an intelligent Iranian. There's a lot of those examples. And why doesn't he talk about the cause, the sanctions? Because he can't, because they're political, and he doesn't want to have what his videos are referenced back at the for the government to go after him. That's the reason why. So he's talking about generalities and just like everyday life in Iran rather than directly criticizing the regime, because in doing so he could attract their attention and they could retaliate against him. That's the reason why.
As a 10-year-old game, it shouldn't be surprising that several major things have changed or even been removed from Rocket League since 2015. In this video, I'm going to cover 9 of the most interesting changes while dispelling some myths and trying to explain the reasons behind the scenes. For the first 3 years of Rocket League, your progression through the experience point system was tied directly to your in-game score and performance. There was 1,000 points for the winners, 750 for the losers, and an extra 100 for MVP. But everything else was based on the mechanics and plays you made during the game, and it went way beyond the points that are given out these days. A first touch on kickoff was 10 points. A bicycle kick on the ball was another 10 points. If you hit the ball 3 consecutive times without it touching the ground, it was a juggle, worth 10 points. Aerial touches were also worth 10, and shots were 30 instead of the 10 they are now. The system itself was a simple one. Your XP was directly related to your unchangeable in-game title, as we were all on the same long journey.
You know, I'd love to play more, but I have homework.
Title in the game, Rocketeer. But this all changed in 20.
And I love how I don't know, this is like the first time, but there was no lag here. I love how that happened.
Things like finishing matches and
Wait, actually, I want to see 900,000 players on in this early. Actually, 12, not. But wait, oh, I need a. That. Luckily, I'm Diamond 2 to get out of that, because I need to get everything. That's my goal. But damn, 917. I see that sometimes, but it's still. What if I do this? Want to see how much we. Oh, cause online and then P playing, yeah, and then if I do it, I guess that's still, but I wanna see. Yeah, Node is very. That's a high one actually, but yeah, not as much as one. This one is basically the same. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's how many people play 2v. And 3v3, yeah, like I think it is the least. But yeah, I think this is still second. And yeah. 4,000. Yeah, Rumble is weird, the most played. Yeah, whatever, guys. I need to work on my code. Bye.